The galaxy was vast, silent, and full of secrets. Humanity had only recently stepped into the wider cosmic stage, their ships gliding through the void like sparks of curiosity. They were a young species, but one with a reputation for unpredictability, creativity, and an almost stubborn resilience. Some alien civilizations respected them, others feared them, and a few, like the Zarathi, thought they could be easily outsmarted. It began with a beacon. No one knew exactly where it came from. It appeared just outside human-controlled space, a soft pulse of light traveling in impossible patterns, forming shapes that seemed both mathematical and artistic. The Zarathi sent no message with it, at least not a clear one. The beacon hummed with a quiet energy, radiating a promise of technology, of advancement, of power. The United Nations Space Council convened immediately. Screens lit the chamber, filled with star maps, energy readings, and simulations. Some council members were excited. "It could be a gift," said Director Anika Rao. "The Zarathi have technologies we could barely imagine. This could leap us forward centuries." Others were skeptical. Ambassador Lorne of Mars frowned. "Or it could be a trap. The Zarathi are known for their cunning. They have watched us grow. They know our weaknesses. We should be cautious." Humanity had always thrived in such tension between curiosity and caution. In the end, they agreed to investigate, but on their terms. They would not simply send a fleet blindly. They would send a fleet prepared for anything. The flagship Horizon led the expedition. Its sleek hull glimmered under distant starlight, equipped not with massive weapons but with advanced AI, adaptive shields, autonomous drones, and holographic decoys. The crew was a mix of the best human minds: engineers, strategists, scientists, and pilots. Every one of them knew the mission's mantra: observe, adapt, and never underestimate. As they approached the source of the beacon, anomalies became apparent. Gravity flickered in impossible ways, shifting like invisible hands rearranging the stars. Sensors recorded energy signatures that contradicted themselves, and the ship's AI, Orin, continuously recalculated trajectories. "This is no ordinary signal," said Lieutenant Cale Rivers, staring at the holographic map. "It's like someone designed a puzzle, or maybe a trap." Captain Maytan smiled faintly. "Then let's solve it. That's what we do best." The fleet advanced cautiously. The beacon's pulse seemed almost alive, responding to their movement, adjusting itself to test them. The Zarathi's plan was clear: draw humans in, manipulate their path, and then trap them. But what the aliens did not expect was human adaptability. On board the Horizon, the crew worked like a single mind. They fed Orin's AI multiple false signals, tested every gravitational anomaly with drones, and ran simulations faster than any Zarathi calculation. They discovered that the beacon was not just a signal. It was a networked system of energy fields designed to guide ships into specific zones. Each zone had traps, some designed to disable engines, others to scramble navigation systems, and a few even intended to capture the crew alive. But humans didn't panic. Instead, they studied the traps, learning their rhythm, understanding their logic. They realized the fields could be reversed, redirected, even amplified. The cleverness of the trap became a tool in their hands. Captain Tan ordered the first experiment. They sent a small drone into a looping gravitational anomaly. It disappeared for a moment, then reappeared, bouncing off the energy walls like a ball in a cosmic game of pinball. Data streamed back. Every pulse, every shift, every adjustment the Zarathi had made was being recorded. "This is incredible," said Dr. Hana Iqbal, chief engineer. "The Zarathi built a cage, but they left the wiring exposed. We can control it." Rivers leaned over the console. "We could turn this entire trap into a maze for them. They won't see it coming." Captain Tan nodded. "Exactly. But for now, we move carefully. Let's not celebrate just yet." Hours turned into days. The humans probed the beacon, sending swarms of drones through the shifting energy fields, mapping every fluctuation, every hidden corridor, every trap. Each night, the crew would gather in the observation deck, watching the cosmic dance unfold. The stars outside seemed calmer than the storm inside, but they all understood that every flicker of the beacon was a challenge, a test, and an opportunity. The first test of control came unexpectedly. A gravitational loop began to tighten around the horizon, compressing space in a way that should have disabled the ship. But Orin anticipated the shift, adjusting shield harmonics and rerouting energy. Simultaneously, the crew activated a series of holographic decoys, confusing the system into thinking the ship had already passed the loop. The trap, meant to ensnare, instead propelled them forward, deeper into the beacon's core. Cheers erupted quietly in the control room. Humans had not only survived but had learned to manipulate the trap. Captain Tan addressed the crew over the ship-wide comms. "This is more than survival. This is mastery. What the Zarathi thought would be their victory is now ours to explore. We are proving once again that human creativity cannot be predicted." Even the AI Orin seemed almost proud, its voice calm but tinged with approval. "Captain, with proper calculations, the trap can be used to create a navigational field capable of redirecting any approaching fleet. It is efficient, elegant, and entirely under human control." The crew spent the next day setting up experiments. They created holographic clones of their ships, sending them through loops and corridors. Energy fields were adjusted to amplify harmlessly, creating a network of optical illusions, gravitational puzzles, and signal echoes. By nightfall, the humans had transformed the Zarathi trap into a controlled labyrinth, one that responded to human commands and could theoretically turn on any intruder. Meanwhile, a silent observation came from the bridge. The beacon pulsed more frantically, almost as if it were alive and reacting with frustration. Humanity's touch had turned a carefully designed prison into a dynamic system of potential advantage, yet the human crew remained humble. They knew this was only part one. The Zarathi would not wait forever. They would come, curious, suspicious, or angry. But for now, humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had taken a weapon meant for destruction and turned it into a tool for understanding, control, and potentially victory. Captain Tan reflected on the journey so far. "This is what makes us human," she said softly. "We face danger, we face the unknown, and we do not merely react. We think, we adapt, and we turn even a trap into an opportunity. That is why the galaxy underestimates us, and that is why it will remember us." The fleet rested for a brief moment. Outside, the beacon pulsed steadily, a beautiful but dangerous rhythm. Inside, humans worked tirelessly, turning every challenge into a lesson. Every puzzle solved was a message sent not to the Zarathi, but to the universe itself. Humanity was clever, resilient, and unstoppable, not with weapons, but with ingenuity and unity. And somewhere, far across the stars, the Zarathi were watching, unaware that their masterpiece had already been rewritten by the species they thought they could contain. Part 1 ends not with a battle, but with preparation. Humanity had survived the trap, learned its secrets, and quietly set the stage for the moment when the hunters would find themselves lost in the labyrinth of human invention. The stage was set. The galaxy was watching, and humanity, ever curious, ever clever, was ready for what came next. The humans had transformed the Zarathi trap into something entirely different, a living labyrinth of light, energy, and motion. What the aliens had designed to ensnare them was now a playground of strategy, innovation, and surprises. The horizon and its fleet rested briefly, but the crew knew the Zarathi would not remain idle for long. Captain Mei Tan walked along the bridge, observing her team. Engineers monitored the energy fields. Pilots ran simulations, and Orin, the AI, calculated potential movements of any approaching fleet. "Do you think they know what we've done?" asked Lieutenant Cale Rivers. He was leaning on the railing, eyes scanning the stars. Captain Tan shook her head. "No. The Zarathi are predictable in one thing: they underestimate creativity. They expect us to panic or follow their path. But humans do not follow predictable paths." A sudden alert broke the calm. On the main screen, a fleet of alien ships appeared, moving cautiously toward the star system. Their shapes were unfamiliar, angular, and cold, with lights blinking like the eyes of predators. "They're here," said Dr. Hana Iqbal, her voice tight with anticipation. "They're moving exactly where we expected." Captain Tan smiled faintly. "Good. That means they are walking straight into our maze." The fleet advanced, unaware that the beacon, once their trap, was now under human control. Energy fields shifted subtly, creating corridors and loops that distorted space. Signals bounced erratically, making it impossible for sensors to provide a clear picture. Holographic decoys flickered across the area, creating the illusion of dozens of human ships where there were only a few. "This is brilliant," Rivers muttered. They won't know where to go first. Oren spoke calmly, as if savoring the moment. Captain, the energy loops are calibrated to respond dynamically. Any ship entering the field will follow paths we dictate, guided into zones of confusion and hesitation. The Zarathi will waste time before understanding our manipulation. The humans watched as the first alien ships entered the labyrinth. The energy fields redirected them, bouncing signals and altering apparent positions. The aliens attempted to communicate, their lights flashing, trying to probe human tactics, but every attempt was delayed or redirected. They're frustrated, said Iqbal, pointing to the screen. The ships were circling, correcting their paths, yet falling into new loops each time. It's like they're trapped in a puzzle they cannot solve. Captain Tan nodded. Exactly. But we're not done. Let's show them how humans think differently. The crew activated the next stage. Small drones, previously sent to map the fields, now moved in synchronized patterns. They formed illusions of additional ships, creating fake flanks and phantom maneuvers. The aliens reacted immediately, trying to intercept what did not exist. Every move they made was anticipated and countered, not with weapons but with sheer cleverness. Hours passed, and the Zarathi fleet found themselves trapped in a web of energy, light, and illusion. They were not destroyed, but they were immobilized, unable to navigate the constantly shifting fields. Their frustration grew, their calculations failing to account for the humans' unpredictability. On the horizon, Captain Tan addressed the crew. They thought this would be their victory. They thought they had planned for every scenario. But we are humans. We improvise, we adapt, we take challenges and turn them into opportunities. This is our strength, Lieutenant Rivers grinned. It's like watching chess being played in zero gravity, except we're 3 moves ahead and they don't even know the rules. Dr. Iqbal pointed at a new data stream. Captain, the energy loops are responding to our commands. We could lead them anywhere. We could make them chase nothing forever. Tan considered this for a moment. Not forever. We need them to learn. Not defeat them physically, but defeat them mentally. We want them to see what underestimating humans truly costs. The humans began a series of controlled maneuvers. The Zarathi ships were guided through the labyrinth, encountering optical illusions, false corridors, and energy flows that seemed to contradict the laws of physics. Every attempt to escape was met with clever countermeasures, keeping them disoriented and off balance. This is amazing, said Rivers. We're not fighting them. We're teaching them the limits of their own assumptions, Oren added. Their logic is rigid. They plan based on control. Humans plan based on adaptation. This disparity is decisive. Outside, the beacon pulsed steadily, a rhythmic reminder of human mastery over what was once a dangerous trap. Every pulse carried a hidden message. Humanity cannot be predicted, cannot be contained, and cannot be underestimated. As the Zarathi fleet struggled, the humans took the opportunity to send a single communication. Not a threat, not a demand, just a simple statement. Underestimate us and you will learn in ways you did not expect. Observe, adapt, respect. The alien ships halted, their lights dimming as if in reflection. The Zarathi had never encountered a species that turned their traps into tools, their cunning into a lesson. Slowly, the fleet began to withdraw, not destroyed but humbled, not defeated by force but by intelligence, unity, and creativity. Captain Tan allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. We didn't destroy them. We didn't need to. But we've shown them that humans are not predictable, not controllable, and never to be underestimated. Dr. Iqbal leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. And we did it without a single shot fired. The entire operation was a victory of the mind. Rivers chuckled. Imagine telling that story back on Earth. We trapped an alien fleet using a puzzle. People would think we're crazy. Tan smiled. Crazy is sometimes exactly what it takes. Humanity thrives on thinking differently. That is what makes us strong. In the following days, the humans mapped the labyrinth completely, setting up monitoring systems that could track any returning Zarathi fleet. Every shift of energy, every illusion, every loop became a symbol of human ingenuity. They called it the Maze of Light, a living monument to what cleverness and cooperation could achieve. The Zarathi, meanwhile, returned to their territory in silence, a quiet acknowledgement passing among them. They had underestimated humans once. Perhaps they would not again. Back on the horizon, the crew reflected on their journey. We turned a trap into a tool, said Tan. We turned fear into opportunity. And most importantly, we proved something the galaxy must never forget. Human creativity and adaptability are our greatest weapons. Oren spoke one final time before entering a low-power mode. Captain, the operation demonstrates a principle. Threats can be transformed into advantages when approached with intelligence and unity. Humanity excels because it does not rely solely on brute force. It relies on ingenuity, the captain nodded. And that is why, no matter what the galaxy throws at us, humans will endure. Humans will adapt. Humans will win, not by breaking others, but by outthinking them. As the horizon left the star system, the beacon pulsed once more, a soft glow fading into the distance. Behind them, the Zarathi fleet had retreated, confused, humbled, and perhaps, just perhaps, wiser. Ahead, the stars stretched endlessly, full of challenges and mysteries. Humanity moved forward not with aggression, but with cleverness, cooperation, and courage. They had faced a trap, and they had turned it into their own stage, a testament to what humans could achieve when underestimated, outnumbered, or challenged. And somewhere, across the galaxy, civilizations began to whisper about humanity, not as a threat of force, but as a species whose mind, adaptability, and unity made them the most formidable presence among the stars. For the humans aboard the horizon, the journey was only beginning. The galaxy would continue to throw challenges at them, and every time, humans would meet them with ingenuity, creativity, and an unstoppable will to thrive. Because in the vast, infinite cosmos, no trap could ever truly contain humanity.